All right, here we go. I'm doing this blog. I guess I call it my notes on writing and things of that nature. I didn't really settle on any title for this, but this is like a soapbox. This is a soapbox video blog, mostly because even though I am answering a question and presenting a different idea to the community, I am going to be preaching. All right, that's probably the best way to describe what I want to do. I'll put the windows up because I need to hear. Yeah, I'm going to be preaching. This one is all on the what if, asking the big what if. And as much as I have been given these little commentary videos, I have really been holding back my full out opinion, because I didn't want to be on a soapbox. But, in reality, you never really hide in your opinion. It is your opinion, even if you're talking about book categories, you're talking about how to develop characters. That's really all your opinion. You know what I'm saying? So, I am giving my, I don't know what happened to the focus. All right. I'm giving my opinion, so here's a continuous version. This is not my only opinion on writing, but my opinion on black sci-fi and what I found. And this is a reaction to a conversation that I had at the Blacktasticon sci-fi convention, which was really a big gathering of a lot of the people in sci-fi. Not everybody, but we talked about everybody, And one of the panels, we were talking about Afrofuturism and what that was. And then I saw an article online about the top Afrofuturist writers and Afrofuturist stories. And while I agree with a lot of them, I'd probably take issue with just a few of them. My overall frustration with just what I didn't see on the list is what I really want to talk about. One of my big influences in sci-fi is Stephen Barnes. I like to call him and L.A. Banks my big influencers. I wasn't influenced by Octavia Butler like a lot of people were. I actually read Stephen Barnes and L.A. Banks before I read Octavia Butler. And other people like William Sims, who wrote my favorite sci-fi book, Zorro, A Tale of Alien Avengers. So, Stephen Barnes does a workshop or blog, YouTube, a Facebook interactive, where he always talks about what if, and actually the three big questions of sci-fi. But I like to focus this particular one on what if. And why do I feel I want to focus on that is because I found that in black sci-fi, if you're looking at the top books, whether you agree with the top books or not, many of the top books that we all agree on are devoid of real deep what-if questions. I'm not talking about what if Superman was blind. That's a good what. That's a what-if question, but it's low-level what-if. I'm talking about humanitarian level what-ifs. Take for instance, one of my favorite sci-fi movies and books is I, Robot. And what does that movie address? What if robots became artificially intelligent or just intelligent? It's the same question that Terminator answers. It's the same question that they have in Humans, because Humans is probably just moving slow. And I didn't see season 2 of Westworld, but I know in Westworld 1, the robots were becoming more intelligent. And I also saw the original Westworld movie. So at some point, it's the same thing in Blade Runner. What if these artificial intelligence, this robot, all intelligent characters that we create become intelligent. And of course, the Western answer is that they will attack humanity. Okay, we will not tolerate them, and all these other things. And I really think that's a Western answer. Take alien invasion, right? You have movies like The Predator, movies or radio shows like War of the Worlds. You have Independence Day, another one of my favorites. But these perpetuate this Western fear of life in outer space and what it will do. I mean, talk about Prometheus. This guy had God powers, and he came and destroyed everything on Earth. What the heck is that all about? You know, and I understand Prometheus is Greek, but that's still Western, that's still European. And I just respect that there should be variations of this. I don't expect for Asians to write a Promethean world invasion story. I don't expect Africans, Native Americans, South Americans, Central Americans. I think we should have a variety. Indians, Arab, they all have different ones. But I think, you know, what Europeans write in terms of the Independence Day type story is that that's what they will bring to planets if they go to them. You've seen the movie Avatar. You know, if they had the powers, that's what they would do. Because basically, when they explored the Earth, that's what they did. That's what Magellan did. That's what Christopher Columbus did, Amerigo Vespucci. So you had all of these people, Napoleon. So then you have, take for instance, another deep what if question is, what if civilization ended, like the end of time, well, you know, the end of the world, or end of life as we know it? Those are some of the big questions, and I don't think black sci-fi writers write enough about those things. And I'm all for African warriors. I'm all for futuristic stories. I'm all for cyberpunk. I've written one. You know, I'm all for all of these paranormal, all of these genres, fantasy. But I also think in these genres, I think we need to ask bigger questions. I mean, and I'm not saying that these books that we have out are bad. No, heck no. They're very good. You know, shoot, I got books that are good. But I push myself to ask these big questions. But take, for instance, the end of civilization. You got movies like Mad Max. Even Lord of the Flies experimented with the breakdown of a societal structure. Then you have Walking Dead. That's not really even about zombies. Zombies are a side note. The big characters are Negan, the governor. You know, these other characters that are manifestations of what humanity in the eyes of the writers would become, which is still very much Western. Okay? Starship Troopers, right? Again, what is it? What's another one? Jupiter Ascending. These are other. Well, these deal with space invasion, but life on on other planets. You know, with Starship Troopers, in terms of it not even being an animal. I mean, a humanoid life form. It'd just be other animals. And you know, the parallel between, at least with the movie, more so than the book, the parallel between space roaches and how we treat roaches here. Robert Heinlein is a crazy, funny guy, but that's what he was, you know, playing around with. And the same thing was with Ender's Game. Do we respect life out there? And I think even Ender's Game was saying the same thing as Starship Troopers, the movie, you know. But I want to hear our answers to it. Then you have, if we colonize the universe, not just Mars, like beyond it, all of that. And then that has to do with Star Trek, that's the Space Federation. We found life out here in the universe. We don't really write those stories. Where's the black interpretation of a populated universe? Now, I'm not talking about something silly like Star Wars. You know, there's going to be white planets, there can be black planets, there's going to be Asian planets. Who are these life forms? How do they get down? You know, look at Expanse. That's just our solar system, right? Or a limited environment, but mostly our solar system. Okay, how will the planets interact with each other? Do we have that? You know, and I love Milton Davis. Props to his foresight for putting together a dark universe. You know, but how many stories do we have that propose those things? And he's now going into the second book, so y'all got to get the first one. And then, of course, I'll shout my book out since I'm shouting his out. But Welcome to Boss Lady's Planet. Very much similar to a populated universe, like Serenity. My story is not zombies that's the problem. It is robots, you know, and I have a iRobot conversation in my multi-inhabited solar system, right, or planetary system. Then we have just other ones, and I'm just going to throw these out because, like I said, I think we need to have more questions that are bigger. You know, not just what if black people were the vampires and white people. You don't have to go black and white like that. That's kind of, that's medium. That's like the D.L. Hughley's set. You know, everything don't have to be black and white. Although if you play it up good, it is a good answer. It is a good story there. You can make something good out of it. But I'm talking bigger, like Children of Men. What if women stop being fertile? What would happen to the world? Now that's sort of a dystopian question, but in reality, the story was that white people would become infertile and black people would suffer a little bit, but then the black people still were able to have children. So maybe you tell that story from the eyes of black people. I ain't mad at you. You know, because right now the European birth rate is on decline and it's suffering, and you know, Africans are still having amazing amounts of children. Okay, so maybe we need to just answer that question from our perspective. What's another good one? The Purge. Okay, that's one. I don't know if that deals with overpopulation or if that deals with crime, but I know my kids in my classroom loved the Purge concept. You know, and I think that's something that we can play around with. Maybe it's their idea, but maybe we had a different day, you know, or maybe we had a different way to handle crime on an extreme level and overpopulation on extreme levels. Last two, The Island, Repo Men, possibly even Judge Dredd. When we talk about just science and the advancements of science in terms of people not being able to be healthy as much and living long, you know, Altered Carbon comes to mind. Repo Men, The Island, the remake with Michael Clark Duncan, and then even Judge Dredd, Extreme Police Forcing. Yo, that's a beautiful concept for us to explore. So that's my take. I just think we need to ask bigger questions. I know I ain't get to it all, but these blogs can't be 15 minutes all the time. Thank you for your time, y'all. Peace.